Welcome to the Bee Shifter podcast. John Vance, Josh Bloom. It's our New Year's Eve edition. We wanted to get with everybody and talk about 2023 and more importantly, what's ahead for 2024. So thanks for being here today. If you're joining us live, Happy New Year. If you're on shift, have a safe shift. And if you're lucky enough to have the time off, enjoy some time with your family and friends as you ring in 2024. And of course, if you're listening to this at any other time, Happy New Year too. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm good. Happy New Year to you. It's crazy this year went by that fast. I look back and it's like, man, we didn't do that this year. That was in 2022. That was in whatever, and it's like, man, we did a lot this year, but it went by pretty fast. So
I don't know if it's because of like COVID, but like the pandemic and the lockdown and everything seems so long ago to me. And it just seems like a whole other lifetime ago. But then it seems like things have just been going so fast since then. I mean, it's been unbelievably fast. So it's a crazy world in which we live. Hey, I just want to ask everyone who's watching this, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. That really helps us out a lot because it lets us know that you're there and it supports our podcast. The other thing it does too is it makes sure that you get every new episode. So especially like on YouTube, you hit the notification, you'll get notified every time there's a new one out. We're trying to encourage everyone to do that. And one of the funny things about our organization is we are all firefighters first. We came from a fire background, and then we're doing this to let everybody know what we're doing and communicate with everybody. So we don't have a professional marketing department or anything like that. It's us doing this, and it's one of those things I always forget to do. It's like, wow, we had 21,000 people watch this, but why do we have 500 subscribers? Well, it's because I don't ask people to subscribe, and that's what you're supposed to do. So anyway, just trying to bring a little professionalism to this, Josh, I think would help out. So please like and subscribe. It helps you and it helps us. The other thing I want to say too is we've added Instagram too on our live. So anytime that we have a new podcast out, it's going to be broadcast live on YouTube, Twitter or X, whatever we're calling that now, Facebook, and then also now Instagram. So welcome to our new Instagram viewers if you're watching us on Instagram. So just more ways that we're getting the word out and sharing information from Blue Card and Bee Shifter with you. Looking back at 2023, Josh, what kind of activity did we have? I mean, specifically, like how many classes did we do? How many new instructors came on board? Like you said, it went so fast, so much went on, but every single week we were doing something. So it's nuts how much activity we had.
yeah, I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. Like 2 weeks ago, we had the Fairfield trainer going. 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, however long ago that was, in December. And I had totally forgot that we actually had 3 things going that week. So it's like, oh yeah, we have people in 3 separate places. So yeah, I mean, it was busy. So in 23, we ended up putting on 7,500 plus new students. So whether they were doing the full online or dispatchers. We trained over 500 instructors in 48 different train-the-trainer classes. So you figure that out, right? 48 train-the-trainers, and then you take out some of the holiday weeks and all of that. So there was a lot of weeks in 2023 that we had 2 or 3 classes going. We ended up delivering 19 2-day workshops of some sort, and we had about 900 students that we touched with those. So the workshops, so the Mayday workshop, the Vision Ops, the critical thinking class, which we got that coming up in March, and I think there might, I don't think there is any seats left. I'm pretty sure it is full. There maybe was 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure that's full. So that class, very popular. And then the big box class that we do with the National Fire Sprinkler Association. So we delivered 5 of those in 23, and coming up this next year, tomorrow, right, in 2024, we're going to do 5, and 3 of the 5 are already full. So if you're looking at a workshop or you're looking for a class, just reach out to us. And then we delivered 7 of the Size Up Fire Extinguishment Tactics Train the Trainer classes, the 2-day classes with the fire prop, and we go through a bit of fire dynamics, and you keep the prop, and we give you included in that package a curriculum piece that's probably about 16 hours of classroom material that you can break down and do in probably like 2-hour sessions. And then a big deal, right? We brought the conference back. So it's like, man, that kind of got on top of us before you even knew it. We had planned it out, and then there we were in October at the conference, and that was fantastic. 500 people for the first year, and had 20 different classes that we offered. And with that said, I'll just say it here. We'll talk about it again, but we're bringing the Headzone Conference back, in 2024, September 30th through October 4th. So it'll be 5 days. We can talk about that a little bit more, but you can go to the registration there, hazardzonebc.com, and you can see what classes we're offering there and what that looks like. We don't have all the instructors posted yet, but the conference this year went very well. And I mean, we weren't surprised because we've been getting for the last several years a lot of when you bringing the conference back. So that was really good. The networking, picking up from people, like, what are their needs? What do they expect? What else can we, do for them? And then we were at FDIC for just about the whole week. We were at the iChiefs conference, hooked up with a lot of people there, a lot of networking. Got to record a few podcasts with some of the folks there of like what's going on and what's the state of the fire service where they work. And then we did a few state conferences. So with that, the state conferences, if you got something going on in your state or your region, that just reach out to us, and if we can fit it in, we're going to do some state conferences. Obviously, we're not going to do 50, but we'll see what we can fit into our schedule to make that work. And then some of the updated curriculum. So we did release another new day 1 PowerPoint, just updated and refined that. Right, we try to stay in command function 7 and fixing stuff. Everybody knows that the whole website update. So here we are, 2.5 months past when we shut down the old one and started the new one, and based off of what we wanted to do and what we wanted it to look like and where we were headed, we're really on track for what we wanted to do there. Our priority was the learning management system and the records management system, and making sure that the students could actually do education, because that's what we do. We educate and support, train firefighters, officers, and command and decision making. So that was a huge priority for us, and then making sure the instructors had the tools and the ability to finish what they needed to do with certification and CE at their own organization. So there was a lot going on in 2023, and 2024 is lining up really to be busier than we were this year.
What are some of the things coming up in 2024 class-wise that either we might be adding or we'll see some changes with?
So classes. So the ARF module that will be coming out in 2024. That our SME group is in the final revision of that, and then that'll be getting pushed out and launched in 2024 for response to aircraft incidents. And that program, it's not just for airports. Really, it lines up, and I think it's good for anybody who's in a especially if you're in like a direct flight path, or you could be responding to the airport if you're not on the airport, like a good basis of what goes on. What does that really look like? How do you set it up? How do you apply the standard blue card system and the strategic decision-making model to an aircraft incident? So we're looking forward to that coming out. I think that's going to be really good. Chris Stewart and Eric Phillips with their critical thinking and decision-making class. We launched that Phoenix class for March, and it really filled up in no time. It just proves that firefighters, they want to know, right? We want to know. We don't want to not know. So that class and the discussion on how do I really make decisions, and how do we think under stress, and how can we help each other to make better decisions. So that class, obviously the Phoenix one's filled up. We're doing one actually here, kind of a overview of that program here in Cincinnati, coming up here in just a few weeks in January. And then that class is available, like all of our workshops, to bring to your organization. So if you're interested in that, you could either fill out the form on the website, or you can reach out to me anytime, josh@bshifter.com. We're going to continue to deliver the Mayday workshops, the Division Boss workshop, the Big Box workshops. We're going to do 5 of them. 3 of them are posted in full, and so we're going to be offering 2 other ones. We have to line up with Shane's schedule. Obviously, he's very busy all over the country. If you follow NFSA, he's in Maine today, and California tomorrow, and Florida the next day. So we schedule those around his availability and what that looks like. And we're super happy to be partnering with the NFSA on the Big Box workshop, and then also some of the other I don't want to say research burns, but some of the other trainings that they've done with their sprinkler folks to show what the sprinkler system does, but how we can participate in that to show people what really happens when the sprinkler system goes off and what's it look like inside. And we're going to continue with that and that relationship, that to do exercises like that to continue to help the fire service and roll things out maybe that aren't out there right now, so that we can have the tools to do a better job and to really think through and make good decisions. So with that said, we're working on the 1 or 2, probably 2 CE modules with the NFSA on sprinkler systems and sprinkler control, and how do they really work, and risers and dry risers and fire pumps, and with that really aligns the whole pre-plan piece. So we're kind of like lining that up. What does that really look like for an organization going to this big box building? We talk about it in the Big Box class, that it's so critical that you have really good pre-plans on these buildings of what are all those auxiliary systems, where are they located, and maybe some information on how they work, how do we control them, and then what kind of picker systems and all that are inside the building. So that's just another piece that we're working on. It's going to be a CE module class. For the last year, we've been working on the TRT. It really lines up with like technical rescue awareness, but it's that mobile first due IC decision making and strategic IC decision making for these technical rescue events. So we're going to end up having about 36 separate modules at some point in 2024. We're going to release the first 5 CE modules for TRT events, and it's going to be the ones that one we probably all respond to, and a couple that are the highest risk, maybe lowest frequency. And every time we launch one of those CEs, we're going to have an SOG to go along with it. So that kind of brings me to the SOGs. So we released all those SOGs earlier this year on the structural firefighting piece, command and accountability and air management and division ops and so on. And we've had for the last 5 or 6 years, some SOGs that align with natural gas best practice response, carbon monoxide response to compressed gas emergencies. So we're going to also be pushing those SOGs out. And when we do that, really just a refresher reminder that, hey, don't forget that the hazmat modules do exist, especially the natural gas one. We keep on seeing a lot of events with natural gas, and there's so many of them that we're successful so often, but we're getting caught a lot also. And responding to an explosion, or responding and we pull up and it explodes while we're there. And, there's some things that we can do to keep us, out of that situation, and some best practice things. So that's a bit of that lineup. We're going to be back at FDIC this year. We're going to be doing the iChiefs, or our conferences. Like I said, right around the corner, really. October or September 30th is not that far away. So that's kind of a piece of what we have, lined up for 2024. In addition to all the classes and workshops and everything else we got scheduled already.
Well, one of the things that you brought up is the SOGs and the way that we've been distributing that. And we're going to add some distribution channels as the year goes on. You're going to see some more upgrades to our website, which we're excited about. Excuse me. So you'll be able to get our stuff more ways. But right now, the guarantee way to get our stuff is by going to the Buck Slip. And in the show notes, you can subscribe to the Buck Slip. That's how we distributed those SOGs. And I think we over 2,200 downloads of the 8 SOGs that we put out leading up to the conference. And the other thing about the Buck Slip here, let me see, I've got my notes. We had, let me see. Oh, yeah, over 48,000 unique downloads on the Buck Slip. So every week we put out at least one article, and then we have all the Blue Card and B-Shifter news on there, and over 48,000 people accessed or had unique clicks on there to get our stuff. It's absolutely free. We don't charge you. You don't have to be a Blue Card user in order to get on there. It just kind of gives you a glimpse of what it's like and some of our customer support, but also the information that used to be in the B-Shifter Quarterly is now in the B-Shifter Buck Slip every single week. And that comes out every Tuesday morning. We have not missed a week yet. We're gonna continue to do that into the next year. The other thing that we've done is we launched YouTube. Like I said, over 20,000 views on YouTube. And then I don't know if you had this, the webinars. So we put out free webinars this year. We've had over 1,300 people look at those webinars. So we offer it live, so you can interact with us and the other instructors or whoever's on the webinar. People make comments to each other. It's a good environment. It's not unusual now that we have a couple hundred people on those, but then we also offer it on demand after the fact. So you can either sign up and get it, or we put it on YouTube. And with that, we've had over 1,300 people attend our webinars so far. And again, it's absolutely free. You don't have to be a Blue Card user, subscriber in order to look at all that. It's just something else that we do for free to offer that up. And then there's the podcast. 3.5 years ago, just about, we started the B-Shifter podcast. We had like a little mobile studio. Again, we were just kind of learning as we went. There's been over 75 of those put out. And this year alone, almost 60,000 people have downloaded that podcast, 60,000 unique downloads. So 59,779, over 110,000 since it was launched. And just a couple of other like interesting facts here. It's listened to, of course, in the US, Canada, Australia, Norway, Germany, the UK, Netherlands, Ireland, Dominican Republic, and Austria this year. We did have listeners in the Ukraine that quit reporting, but every time, we'd have like 2 bump up from the Ukraine, which was wild to me. And then our top cities. So this is where more people listen to the B-Shifter podcast. So if we are going to go on tour, Josh, these are the cities we should hit. Well, Phoenix, number 1, and we're there all the time anyway. Then Denver, Portland, Tucson, Cincinnati, Chicago, Minneapolis, Seattle, Calgary, and Toronto. So those are our top download cities for the B-Shifter podcast. And we sincerely appreciate everyone who listens, and they're along for the ride, and the interaction that we get with people. And it's a community or a family or like a firehouse, because we bust each other's chops now and then and have some fun, but it's also a lot of good information, and it's a way for us to share with you, just like this right now, what is going on with Blue Card, what is going on with B-Shifter, and a lot of great topics. So even more great topics coming up for the next year, especially with like the Silverback leadership stuff that continues to roll out. Nick Brunacini and Terry Garrison are finishing that material. We're going to have the new edition of Fire Command coming out that backs up everything on the Blue Card program. So it's the reference for that. So you're going to continue to see more and more stuff there. Almost weekly podcasts. So now we put them out every Sunday, just about. So we're not going to say every single Sunday, because once we say we're doing something, we want to make sure we're doing it. But just about every Sunday, you're going to get a podcast, and then more videos and more free webinars. We're gonna try to offer a free webinar almost monthly too. So just stay tuned for those. Pass them on to people in your organization. The word of mouth really helps, and helps spread the word. And you and I were having a conversation yesterday, Josh, and we're talking about the fire service and our younger firefighters, the up and coming officers that we have in our organization, and they're hungry. They want to learn. Mm-hmm. They want to know more about their job and why they're doing it. And I think there's a lot of pessimism right now out in society because of social media and a lot of other factors out there. But I really think 2024 is a great time to be in the fire service. We're getting smarter, and we're adding people for the most part. Now, I know there's a lot of places that struggle, and there's a lot of people that are not staffed appropriately, and they're not getting the resources they need. But as I travel around and I see what's going on, and I see the vacancies there are, I was just told by a major metropolitan fire department in my area, they're going to be hiring in groups of almost 100 for the next couple of years. And they said, and they're going 250 or 300 people deep on their list by the time they're actually hiring. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be a full-time firefighter, now's the time to get into the business. You and I have been through it in years where it's like you were lucky to see one or two openings, and it was thousands of people trying to get those jobs. When I started, when I was 18, 19 years old, trying to get in the fire service full-time in Southern California, I would stand in line with 1,000 people just to get an application. They would only release so many applications. That's not the world we're in right now. I mean, right now, it's a few hundred maybe that apply or less. I know there have been career jobs that pay very well in my metro, and I'm talking like $80,000 a year to start in a state that protects workers and has, great labor laws, and it's union friendly. And they're getting 60 or 50 people applying for those jobs. So it's a great time to be a firefighter. And I think along with that, it's incumbent on us as fire service leaders and their officers to continue to educate them and give them the tools that they need to succeed safely in their jobs. And more importantly, connecting them to that why. Why are they doing the things that they're doing? So I'm very optimistic about 2024. I think there's a lot of great things going on for us in the American Fire Service, as well for us in Blue Card and B-Shifter. It's a great time to be a firefighter. So let's celebrate that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. We can all do a better job, I think, working towards being positive for the good, for what we're really here for anyway, right? Let's not be mad about hiring some kid who's got questions. Let's be happy about it, and let's train them to do their job so that we can all work together to provide the service that we really have sworn to really provide, which is about Mrs. Smith, right? Get over yourself. I'm sorry you can't sit around and do whatever you're going to do or you're bothered by it, but, we need to continue to train, educate, and develop thinking firefighters. We owe it to the profession, and we owe it to the public, right? I mean, that's what that whole thing really comes down to is we're all here. It's a job, right? It's not just a paycheck. It's a profession, and we owe it to the public. So, with that said, I'm with you. Like a whole lot of these young folks that are coming through the door, we can develop them to be what we want them to be, and it just takes some time. And yeah, they ask some questions, and that old mindset adage of just do what I told you to do, don't ask why. And it's like, well, really, we want them to ask why, because we want to educate them, right? We want to have thinking, educated, again, professionals, not just robots, right? Because at some point they're going to be the one making a decision, and then they don't even know why. I mean, we've lived through that for 100 years. Why do you do that? I don't know. That's what the guy before me told me. Well, we're not there, right? I mean, it's we need to use all of our tools available. Let them use all the tools available, and part of that is like, is there a better way to do this? Is there a safer way to do this? Is there a more efficient way to do this? And that's our mission. At Blue Card, our part of our mission is obviously to train, educate, develop thinking firefighters, company officers, chiefs, from the newest all the way to the fire chief. And then the dispatch program, same thing. And since we're talking about that, and it just dispatchers, I've heard from so many dispatch organizations now, man, that dispatch module is really good. And really what happened in the past with a whole lot of fire departments in a dispatch center was, I don't like them because they don't do what we want them to do. And we've really not spent much time or effort trying to educate or train them or tell them why. I mean, here in Hamilton County, one dispatch center shared, right, police and fire. They dispatched 36 agencies plus I'm not sure how many police agencies. And every dispatcher that's come through the program said, wow, you guys are actually telling us what you want us to do. Before, we just had to figure it out on our own, which is why we didn't do much for you, because we didn't even know. We had a book. You handed us a book that was SOPs, but you gave us no training. And I mean, we deal with that with fire departments too, though, right? I'm just going to hijack these SOPs and this is what we do. Well, you're not that fire department, so you need to figure out how it applies to you. So,
I was talking to a dispatcher that went through the program that we have, and they brought something up. They said the reason that they are better dispatchers on the fire channel, or on the police channel rather than the fire channel, is because for every 50,000 police calls they put out 5,000 fire calls. Mm-hmm. So just sets and reps in their daily touches. When they're on that police channel, they're doing way more than they would on the fire channel. We just simply don't have the same activity level. So when we can, through sets and reps offline, get them used to what we're doing, and they're oriented to, when we say we're pulling an 1 3/4 line, what is that? What are you guys doing? Mm-hmm. When we say, give me your water, what is that? Why are we doing? And I think there's some orientation in that dispatcher program that helps them understand. It's a very basic level firefighting, but it lets them know, why water's important, what an aerial ladder is, what a tanker or tender is, so that they can go onto that fire channel and know exactly when they are repeating the size up back, they can envision in their mind what is actually happening on the scene. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to hit too, as you were talking, is if you're not doing succession planning right now in your department, with all these retirements and all the hiring, because I'm seeing so many people get caught, like, we just don't have the officers ready. Now is the time to get your officers ready. Now is the time to start to mentor and train that driver who's going to start moving up to the right front seat, or the guy in the back seat that's going to move up to the driver, or the officer that's riding the right front seat to be the chief, because it's all moving up and it's all happening so fast, and it continues to catch organizations by surprise. So allow us to be here to help you do that mentoring, especially when it comes to the strategy and the tactics and the decision making that these people are going to be able to do on the scene. We want to prepare them for that. So think about that mentoring within your organization and how you're doing succession planning, because that is one thing I'm seeing so many people get caught off guard with. And it's because we're so busy with the day-to-day, right? I mean, but when I say things are going to be good in 2024, well, yeah, but there are still places struggling just to fill the overtime, just to get people in the seats. So as we move towards those solutions, let's prepare our people. I guess with that, let's talk about this conference here. You hit on it earlier. In 2024, we're back in Cincinnati, and right now, if you register, you're basic and you need a Blue Card subscription, you're basically paying $30, right, for the conference. So let's talk about the conference and give people a update on what's going on with that.
Yeah. So if your organization is putting folks online in 2024 and you were going to buy an online subscription, if you wanted to send some people to the conference, if you're going to buy 10 subscriptions, but you're going to send 3 people to the conference, well, buy 7 subscriptions and then buy 3 conference passes. Because when you buy the conference pass for $415, you get a free online that's $385. So like John said, it's $30 and you get an online account and the conference. So that's the 2-day conference. So we talked about it a little bit, September 30th through October 4th. It's back in Cincinnati. The 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd, we're going to offer a 3-day cert lab for organizations that, if you were looking to get certified, or, you're just standalone, you're doing something by yourself, whatever. So you can register for that at theheddzonebc.com. On the Tuesday and Wednesday before the conference, we're doing pre-conference workshop. There's only 40 seats available, and we're doing the 2-day Mayday management workshop. And that's another one of those package, deal pieces. So if you do the cert lab and the conference, or you do the Mayday workshop and the conference, it's $700, and you get an online account still. So if somebody was looking to get certified and you don't have an online account, you pay $700, you get an online account, you come to the conference for 5 days. You get certified and 2 days of the conference on the back, or 2 days of conference on the back end of your certification. So we're really looking forward to it. We got a lot of great presenters. This last year we had 20 different classes. This year it looks like we're going to have about 30 different classes. We got some really good keynote and large session presenters going to be there. Again, the National Fire Sprinkler Association is going to be there with their valve trailer, and by then the command component, I think, of how do you really line all of this up. So, connecting the pump operator to the task level workers, to the division boss, to the strategic IC, and how does that communications really go? And then you kind of seeing what it looks like when they're operating the actual, trailer that's got the risers and sprinklers, and we're live pumping the system and actually pushing, 1,000, 1,500 gallons a minute through a system. And then how do we really control that? So along with that, we'll have the regional UASI team will be there, flying their drones. That was really good this year. All their different drones, and picking up packages and moving things and show and monitoring. And they were flying a tethered drone of just like one you'd put on your vehicle. We'll have the safety prop outside demonstration, and then this year we're going to expand a bit more on vendors and other demonstrations that'll happen during the conference. And then on the Thursday night we do the meet and greet at the brewery across the street. That went over really well. A lot of networking, a lot of talking back and forth. I've gotten numerous emails and phone calls. Hey, I talked to this guy at this fire department, and he said that you had sent him this IC worksheet. Where's that thing at, and can I get it? And I heard there's a video series that goes along with it. And so that's all good, right? Connecting with other like-minded people who are using the system. So we're really looking forward to the conference. It's going to grow, obviously, this year. A lot of folks have already signed up. And if you go to that registration page, we do have room blocks at the Hyatt, which is the preferred hotel, and then the Marriott across the street. Those are the 2 preferred hotels. So if you're gonna register, make sure you get your rooms reserved at those 2 hotels. They're both, well, one of them's right on site at the conference center. The other one's just right across the street.
There's not a better value. I mean, my department was able to send 7 people for what we would have sent one person to another conference. So because the hotels aren't $500 a night, and it's not $3,500 a person when you start budgeting it out. So it's and then we were able to use those subscriptions for other new people coming onto the Blue Card system. So it's for the training that you get, there is not a better deal right now in the fire service, I don't think. I mean, it is really good. And the Third Eye Brewing across the street, what a great time that was, just because it's the brother and sisterhood that we have, and we love networking as firefighters. And when I walked in, I thought we just had a portion of the restaurant. We had the whole thing, and it was packed, and people were hanging out, having burgers, drinking beer. I mean, it was a really nice time. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen there in 2024. That's great. Well, as we wrap, go ahead.
I'm looking forward to 2024, and we're kicking it off, John. This just caught my eye. We're kicking it off in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
The 3rd. Yeah, we're back on the road on the 3rd, and we're on the road from that point 17 weeks in a row scheduled, booked from the January 3rd, 17 weeks in a row right now. So if you're looking to do something in 2024, a workshop, host a trainer class, or go to a class, get registered. Seats are filling up. We're just telling you for you, because I mean we know they're all going to fill, and they're filling pretty fast. So
yes, I know the train the trainer that I'm doing next week in Phoenix. The other day it had like 6 seats, and I think it's full now.
It is full, yeah.
Yeah. So things go fast. All right. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully everybody's good. We're looking forward to catching up with you, seeing you out there. If you ever need anything, our contact's always in the show notes. You can email or call anytime, and if I'm not standing in front of somebody or on the phone, I will answer or get right back to you.
We work hard on that customer service, and if there's anything else that we can do for you too, please let us know. Well, Happy New Year, happy and healthy 2024, and we'll see you all later very soon. Thanks for listening and being with us on the B Shifter podcast.